Our next guest is our Chula Vista community correspondent. Please welcome back breakdancing realtor Anthony Manzon.
Anthony Manzon, what's up, buddy?
What is up, man?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. The Chula Vista marketplace, I think, is not only is it one of the more dynamic marketplaces in San Diego real estate, but I also think it's one of the places where we can look to see what trends are going to happen in San Diego. Because the price point is more affordable, because there's more units sold there per month than anywhere else, it's one of those places that we look to see what's next for San Diego. One of the things that a lot of people have been talking about in recent weeks, I would say, not even months yet, is a potential slowdown. Is it cyclical? It seems like activity has slowed down, especially in the million plus markets, complete crickets there. 600 to 800, I've been calling no man's land. So sometimes it's hit or miss. Under 600, though, has been traditionally very busy and very active. But I want to know what you think about, whether or not we're seeing slowdown. Is it real, or we just think it's happening, and what you expect from here?
Yeah. So I'm glad we were talking about this today because it's very important. We got some good stats for you guys today. So the numbers that I ran in June of 2015, I always like to run my numbers from last year compared to this year. So we're going to look at June of 2015. June 2015, the median price point in just Chula Vista was $500,000. The month after, July 2015, the median price point was $506,000. So the median price point in July 2015 was $506,000. So it went up $6,000 the month after. This year, 2016, the median price point in Chula Vista has actually dropped to $495,000 in June. Following in July 2016, the median price point in Chula Vista has stayed steady at $495,000. So year over year, if you look at have prices gone up year over year, in just June and July, 2 months in a row, prices have actually gone down in the median price point.
You think that has to do with people just buying lower priced properties, or do you think that is a reflection of what's actually taking place in the market?
Home prices have gone up since then, so it kind of can go both ways. It's a median price point is an interesting statistic because you never know. Prices have gone up, but why has the median price actually gone down? I would say that in this summer alone, we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown. Buyers are having more power in today's market. They're able to actually negotiate prices under asking price. The sellers don't have all the control like they used to have and what they've become used to in the past 4 years.
It's been a good run.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then the question is also always, is it cyclical? Is it just because, hey, we're getting towards the end of the summer, and towards the end of the summer, people are starting to make plans for school, and they're not, totally focused necessarily on some of the big picture, financial things like buying a house or selling a house. I know in Chula Vista you have year-round schools, right? There's a very short break, which is a really hot time. Do you think that it has anything to do with this, just the time of the year? Could that be what it is, or is this more of a macro trend?
It could be the time of the year, maybe not. What I know is that in July of 2015, 168 homes officially closed escrow and sold in July. This year, only 116 homes sold in July.
Wow, that's a lot less.
A lot less, yeah. A lot less, less homes sold, median price point went down. It could be because of the time of the year. Maybe not. It's one of those things where the numbers are there and they just can't be ignored.
Maybe we have just sort of hit the threshold for the affordability index, where you get to the point where, okay, well, there's less transactions happening and they're happening at lower price points. That shows you like the people who are left that are buyers, maybe that's where they're at. So I would love to know kind of what you expect to see from here, and who can take advantage of this. Like, based on this information, what do I do if I'm a seller or a buyer to make sure that I either take advantage or don't get taken advantage of?
Great question. So, from a buyer's standpoint, what we know is interest rates are low. Interest rates are at an all-time low, and when interest rates are low, prices are a little bit higher, but you pay more towards the house rather than the interest rate. If you're looking to purchase a property, investment-wise long-term, now makes a lot of sense because the interest rate is so low. But if you're looking to buy a house and then flip it in 2 years and maybe move up, maybe now is not the best time for that. It really depends on your motivation to buy, right now.
Well, I think and here's my opinion on this, if you're a buyer and you've been waiting, you have to start to ask yourself right now, what are you waiting for? You know, are you waiting for the median price to get to a certain point? Are you waiting till you can buy a 3-bed, 2-bath for this much money in this neighborhood? Like, you need to start telling yourself and asking yourself that question, what is it that I'm actually waiting for? Because when it comes, you need to be ready.
Yeah.
And I've been guilty of this myself before in down markets where I've said, oh, well, I'm waiting for it, but I didn't know what I was waiting for.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, you're back going the other direction. So if you're a buyer and you've been waiting, you have to ask yourself, what am I waiting for? And then be looking for that. I think there's going to be some great buying opportunities. If we see a slowdown this fourth quarter at all, I think it's going to be just an awesome buying opportunity for some of those people who've been on the sidelines, didn't want to get in bidding wars, didn't want to overpay for properties. Those people can go out, and as you said, you're starting to see the pendulum swing a little to the buyer. That could help those people get into a house that they really like.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're working with buyers right now, and typically, you know, you always have that conversation with the buyer. You know, it is very common that you're going to be in a bidding war, so just be ready. You know, we'll run the comps, we'll see what the home's value at, and sometimes you're going to be having to pay above what the seller's asking for. But at this point, you know, when we do those calls to the agents, negotiate the prices, we ask, are there any other offers on the property? They're like, nope, please give us an offer. Like, the agents are almost kind of desperate, like, just put in an offer and we'll negotiate this. You know, so it's a great opportunity for buyers right now.
Okay, that's really good to know because there are a lot of people who've been looking to buy that are still on the sidelines. What do you do though if you're a seller and you're hearing this right now, or if you're a potential seller, you've been wanting to sell and you just couldn't do it in the summer, you had too much going on, vacations, whatnot, and now you're starting to think, okay, well maybe we want to sell early the year, next year, or maybe we want to try to sell before the holidays. I mean, how do you process information that you're telling me right now that the pendulum's swinging over to the buyer if I'm a seller?
You know, if you're a seller, honestly, from what this numbers show, like now really is the best time to sell. Because, you know, when interest rates go up, prices start to go down. And, you know, historically, after every presidential election, interest rates go down. That's just, I mean, they go up. That's just what they do. And so instead of waiting longer for, you know, prices to go down or buyers to gain more power in negotiations, you know, sell your property while it's still a seller's market.
Okay, yeah, because we are still technically in a seller's market.
Yeah, we're still in a seller's. I think we're just kind of spoiled because we're just so used to offers the first weekend, and then all of a sudden, if you're getting offers in the third weekend, you kind of feel like the world's falling apart. You know what I mean? Like a month on the market, you're kind of like, I don't even know if we should sell anymore. And in normal markets, it should be 6 months worth of inventory, or days on market 6 months. That's a normal market for like the U.S., but not San Diego, of course.
Yeah, San Diego's much shorter than that. Even now, days on market it's still under 30 days. Isn't it?
Oh yeah,
close to it.
That's what's funny. We're kind of having like a serious conversation, like, oh no, we're sitting longer than 30 days, we're at 31. Something serious is happening, you know? But, you know, it's still a good market. It's still a good market. It's just things are changing.
It still does favor the seller in most cases, especially if you know what you're doing. You know, if you get the home prepared properly, if you price it properly, if you market it properly, everything can still work out really well, I think, if you're a seller. But I think sellers will start to wonder if they missed it. But here's the thing. If you wanted to sell like a year ago, or 2 years ago, some sellers were in that situation, but you didn't because you couldn't find something to buy or you knew the buy side was super crazy. This actually might be the perfect time to sell if you're a sell-buy situation. So if you're a seller and you're going to be a buyer. Because of the fact that you can still get almost, you know, that same frenzy for your sell side, but it's not as crazy on the buy side. So you can still get almost all value on the sell, but you have more flexibility, more comfort on the buy end. And that's why a lot of people didn't sell in the first place. When the market started getting crazy, they were like, yeah, I could sell and I can make money here, but I don't want to go get involved in that craziness on the buy side. Now that might be the perfect time to actually go and enter into that situation because you can have more control, more fluid transition from one house to the other.
Sold. So when do you want to sell your house? And buy that next one.
Good question. Anthony Manzon, thank you for coming in today, man. Really appreciate it.
Alrighty.
Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else. Commercial free.